Hello, I'm Kenneth D. King for Threads Magazine, and today I'm going to show you a little trick I learned while using the Fluted ribbon trim, which is an article I wrote quite a while back for Threads Magazine. First off, let me introduce you to the Fluted trim. This is the Fluted trim, and the other material we're going to be using is called crinoline. It's a little bit of a stiffener. When you're making ribbon flowers or fabric flowers, a lot of times everything is sewn to the crinoline, and then the extra crinoline is trimmed off later. And I'll tell you a little more about that as we go along. We, of course, have double-faced satin ribbon, and so now we're going to begin. These trims are all sort of conceived with ribbon width as your unit of measure so they can scale up and down easily. So to begin, we're going to mark the ribbon from the back, and we're using one ribbon width. We're marking points on either edge. And so forth. And then we're going to mark a point dead center between each of the points we marked at the edges. This is what the sample will look like marked, ready to stitch. Now this is hand sewing. A lot of people don't like hand sewing, but I'm not one of them. I adore it. To begin, we will pick up this point and this point, sew them together with a couple of stitches, and then these 2 points fold back and match the center dot. And you sew these together. You travel then to the next set of dots, and don't pull your thread tight, just let it stay loose. So you repeat all the way up the trim. And as you work, you can style this up so that it looks nice and soft. So we work all the way up the length, and when we have our length finished, it will look something like this. Now it's pretty as a trim in its own right, and in the article I show you how to trim a jacket with it. But recently I learned from a friend that you can stitch it into a spiral and make a rather lovely flower. So what you'll do to begin is, first off, cut a little piece of crinoline and come in here and clip that off and stitch this down in the center of your crinoline. Then you just start stitching in a spiral, and you ideally want the stitches to hide. It takes a little manipulating to get it started, but once you have the spiral going, it gets much easier. And the beauty of this is that you can make them small, you can make them larger, You can really gauge how large or small just by the length of the trim. So if you wanted to make a little rosebud, you would stop it right there, which I will do. You just tuck the ends under. Like so. Sweet, huh? If you wanted to make something larger, you would just continue on sewing in a spiral to make it as large as you want. Now, once you're done, I have this one finished, and you can see here I've tucked the ends underneath. Turn it over, and you can sort of see what I did was to come in here with some Elmer's glue, just regular white glue. You want to glue the stitches around the outer perimeter here, and once the glue has dried, you can come back in and trim very, very close. You can even cut a little bit through the glue. The glue is going to keep the crinoline from raveling. Okay. So here we have a sweet little flower, and now you would tack this to whatever you want to trim, say it be a hat, a handbag, whatever. Tack this down like an applique, and you have a sweet little flower. I'm Kenneth D. King for Threads Magazine.